Right. So, as I keep saying, and as people keep bragging to me, there are surveillance devices in this bathroom. And whoever is the one who is in charge of using those surveillance devices, presumably the same perving, creeping psycho pig that the Greenville Group have been bragging about as their surveillance expert for many years now, is the same trash psychopath who keeps slamming things against the wall directly behind this toilet right here, right here, right here. Every single time I try to quietly sit on this toilet, in the dark with the door closed. And it is now 12:23 p.m. on Sunday, March 23rd, 2025. And spontaneously and quickly, I just decided I had to use the bathroom before leaving today. And whoever keeps accessing the intermittently vacant, intermittently unrented premises of the bathroom of 78 located directly behind this wall, all of a sudden, without any prior noises or disruptions or aggression throughout the morning, suddenly started slamming some kind of heavy object directly against this wall. It wasn't just a little bit of, it was violent slamming. All right, so this is like smacking. They were doing that. Maybe they're still in there. They've been very silent ever since I physically got up from the toilet and then called the Greenville Group. I just left a voicemail for the Greenville Group at 12:23 p.m., so like literally a minute ago, regarding Jasmine Irizarry's constant aggression and violence against the wall behind this toilet only when I use the toilet and almost every single time I try to use that toilet. That is entirely surveillance-based, obviously, because me bending my knees and sitting does not make any noise. And it happens only when I physically put my ass down on that toilet seat. Only when I physically put my ass down on that toilet seat. I'm going to say that again. The violent slamming and banging, oh, now they just made a smacking noise? Yeah, I mean, this is a cheap phone, so I can't speak to the quality of the audio recording capacity for this device. So I'm going to say this again. This is a cheap phone. I can't speak to the audio recording capacity for the microphone on this device, but whoever is in the bathroom with 78 just now smacked the wall again. They're literally just a few inches behind this wall. That is surveillance-based aggression, intimidation, harassment, and stalking. And it's also a sex crime to use a surveillance device in and around somebody's toilet, especially if it's presumably in the toilet, as I have reason to believe, because every single time I try to bring home some newspapers to cover the inside of the toilet, whoever keeps using surveillance devices in this unit to know what I have and where I keep it steals the newspapers from the really strange hiding places where I hide the newspapers to make sure they don't get taken. And those newspapers constantly disappear from this unit. So, I mean, if the newspapers were not covering something that the psycho trash piece of shit named Jasmine Irizarry doesn't want to be covered up, then she wouldn't keep managing to get in here and steal newspapers. Who the fuck reads newspapers these days anyway? They're not that valuable, and they're usually not that interesting. Not to knock any newspapers or anything, right? Most people get their news from internet online sources, not newspapers. So whoever keeps literally managing to get into this unit and stealing the newspapers from like under the bed and between the mattresses and other hiding places where I keep them is doing that because they don't want me to use those newspapers to do the one specific thing that I do with those newspapers, which is to cover the inside of the toilet. What a stupid criminal. What a no-life, low-life, rejected piece of psycho trash. What a disgusting, pedophile, masturbating, ugly pig. That is Jasmine Irizarry, the fat, perving, creeping, sex-offending, psycho trash psychopath who refuses to leave other women alone because she's mentally disturbed and jealous of other women. That's a fact. The Boston Police Department told me in 2017 or 2018 that Jasmine Irizarry of Unit 78 at 5 Union Avenue is a psychopath. Those were two police officers who were African-American and had no vested interest in telling me that Jasmine Irizarry, who claims to be a BLM activist, is a psychopath. But they did because they're good police officers and they were concerned about my welfare when I keep going to the police station and reporting that I get violently harassed from some psycho who smacks the wall behind this toilet almost every single time I try to use a toilet, even at 3 o'clock in the morning, even at 6 o'clock in the morning, even at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, as just happened now. So again, I just left a voicemail for the Greenville Group. The same mentally disturbed piece of psychopath, psycho trash is getting aggressively agitated directly behind this wall. And because this is a cheap phone, I cannot speak to the recording capacity of the audio on this device. Stupid retards who have no fucking clue what they're talking about when they hate stalk my channel because they're so mentally disturbed. They have less than 2 brain cells to put together and they're empty shithead heads. That's just sad. These stupid retards who can't speak to instrumentation and think that if something isn't showing up on a video, then it doesn't exist. Go kill yourselves. Seriously, leave me alone and go kill yourselves. Because if your life is so mentally disturbed and empty and void of any kind of interesting thing that you could build for it, then really you have no reason to exist, right? If your entire existence is dependent on stalking and hating and aggressively harassing other people, then you're literally a waste of space. And I'm just going to go on the record in saying that people who refuse to help themselves, who spend their entire rejected lives stalking, harassing, and assaulting other people are parasites. And if you're a parasite, then you're not really a human being. You're just a giant tapeworm. And you don't exist. Or maybe you shouldn't. Oh, did you hear that? Yeah, that's the fat piece of shit that's just a giant tapeworm smacking the wall right now. Oh, and for the retards who hate stalk this channel, just because you don't hear or see something on video doesn't mean it's not happening in real life. You mentally disturbed, no life, low life rejects. Instrumentation is a confounding variable, retards. And I'm going to say this again. Instrumentation is a confounding variable. So jump off a cliff.